In the US, the number of Catholic priests has been declining in recent years, and some parishes have had no choice but to recruit African priests. Reverend Athanasius Abanulu is a native from Nigeria and currently serves 2 churches in rural Alabama. The local bishop is happy with the results so far.
We are experiencing a shortage of priests currently, and for particular ministries, sometimes we have them and invite them to come and join in ministry that we have available at this particular time. And so they have been an enormous help to us.
Like many other international priests, Reverend Abanulu has had to adapt to a different lifestyle in America.
Coming from Africa, we have a different lifestyle altogether. Priests coming from outside have to bear in mind that they're coming into the people to serve the people who already have their culture. It takes time.
Many feel that the new priest brings a new perspective.
He brings a lot of his culture in explaining the scripture. So Father kind of ties everything in to how he grew up and then maybe how things are different here. And it gives us a perspective we might not have had.
As more priests are recruited from countries such as Nigeria, Abanulu encourages fellow priests from Africa to remember where they come from.
A city and an entire nation that tolled the bells for the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu. A date has been set for the funeral of the Nobel Peace Prize-winning icon who died on Sunday in Cape Town, aged 90. As tributes continue to pour in from across the world, Cape Townians and South Africans pay their last respect and prepare to honor the anti-apartheid leader.
Here today we will discuss the funeral, which will take place here in the cathedral, which became called the People's Cathedral in the struggle years. At 10 a.m. on Saturday, New Year's Day, the funeral will take place here, and it is here where his ashes will also be interred.
Desmond Tutu will lie in state at the St. George Cathedral, where he officiated during many years. Following the passing of the clergyman, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa called for a week of mourning.
Members of the LGBTQ+ community in Cape Town on Monday paid tribute to the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu as they hailed his contribution to the community's struggle for justice and equal rights. An LGBTQ+ activist said Tutu would be remembered for his contribution towards the promotion of love.
What the Arch has done really well his entire lifetime was stick to the ideas of promoting absolute love, absolute acceptance, and absolute kindness. No matter who you are, no matter your sexuality, your race, whatever's in your bank account, he genuinely promoted the idea of love and acceptance to every single person. And that's really one of the lessons that I think that we should take with us.
Tutu campaigned internationally for LGBTQ+ rights and same-sex marriage. He also played an instrumental role in helping South Africans during the HIV and AIDS epidemic.
He was a man who was not untouchable. He was a man of the people. He was a man who was easily accessible. He was a man who was amongst us in the early days of HIV, for example, speaking out about it. He was a man who freely spoke about sexuality when the church were not speaking about sexuality. He was a man who would stop and share a story with you, would share a joke. I think he will forever be remembered for that beautiful little laugh of his.
Tutu died on Sunday at the age of 90 at the Oasis Frail Care Centre in Cape Town.
In Somalia, the president and prime minister clashed on Monday. President Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed, better known as Farmajo, announced the suspension of the prime minister, accusing him of corruption. Prime Minister Mohamed Hussein Roble responded by ordering the Somali armed forces to be placed under his command. As the president seemingly decides to destroy government institutions, and with his constitutional mandate already having ended, I am telling the Somali people that the federal government of Somalia, performing its constitutional duties, especially in this transitional period, is fully responsible for leading all the government institutions of the nation. Therefore, I order all Somali national forces to work under the commands of the office of the Prime Minister from today onwards. The angry exchange between the two top officials was sparked over the country's sluggish preparations for elections. In the draft constitution of Somalia, the House of People can vote for a no-confidence motion against the Prime Minister. The President can only name him, but cannot fire him. You can't find anywhere in the Constitution that the President is able to suspend the Prime Minister, let alone a President whose mandate has ended. The dispute alarmed international observers, prompting the U.S. Embassy in Mogadishu to urge Somalia's leaders to de-escalate tensions. Jihadist groups, such as Al-Shabaab, control large parts of the countryside and stage frequent attacks against the capital. The South African President, Cyril Ramaphosa, visited the family home of Archbishop Desmond Tutu on Monday. Ramaphosa said that South Africa was enormously diminished by the death of Tutu, who, along with Nelson Mandela, was described as an outstanding leader. Tutu is survived by his wife of 66 years, Leah, and their 4 children.
Thank you very much. We've just spent a wonderful few minutes with Mama Leah Tutu and the family and the friends who are paying their condolences and comforting the family, like Bishop Mpumlwana, as well as Dr. Ramphele, who has been a lifelong friend to the Bishop, and as you recall, a lifelong friend to also President Mandela. So she's been a constant mainstay to the 2 outstanding leaders that our country has produced.
South Africa is holding a week of mourning for the Nobel Peace Prize winner.
A lot of great things can be said about him. His global status, the love that he was and is being showered with from across the various countries in the world, just speaks volumes of what he stood for and what people saw in him as a great leader. So we are enormously diminished by his passing, but at the same time we are filled with a celebratory moment that we should use this opportunity to celebrate his life.
Desmond Tutu's body will lie in state at the cathedral in Cape Town on Friday before a requiem mass is held on Saturday.